All right, good evening. Time being 7 PM, all members of the planning board being present, I call this meeting to order. Just a little housekeeping first. If anybody's here for either 913 East Street or 485 Main Street, both of those applicants have requested to be continued to our September 8th meeting. So nothing will be discussed on those two tonight. So if you're here for that, you are free to leave. You will not miss anything. With that, we'll start with agenda item A, approval of minutes for June 16th, 2025, and July 14th, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I was thinking of asking for maybe a continuance on that to get a chance to kind of read them a little more thoroughly, if that's not a problem. I mean, it's quite a bit of information. Some of it we just got not that long ago.
Okay, we can push it off to the next meeting if it doesn't really matter, I guess. Is that for both of them or just the?
Particularly the one that was discussing Astle, I guess.
July 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We just got that tonight, Stephen.
So are we okay with the June 16th one then?
I guess I can't be sure about that,
Oh,
which one it is right now.
well, June 16th is the one we already had.
Right.
July 14th is the one we just got the finished update for.
Okay.
So that June 16th was in our package from
Yeah.
when we picked it up. So did you want to not do that one either, or did you only
I guess
want
we
to?
can do June. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so then I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from the June 16th, 2025 meeting. We have a motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries, and then we'll carry over the July 14th ones to our next meeting. Moving on to agenda item B, committee reports, administrative actions. Do any of the members have any committee reports they wish to make at this time?
Yeah, I have one, Mr. Chairman, if I could. So we had a meeting at the CPC committee, and two issues I think were brought up. One was the application for repairs and renovations of the Tewksbury High School baseball field. It hasn't been repaired and anything done to it since 2016, and that was also with CPC money. So they were looking for some money to restore the infield and restore some of the problems there with some of the outfields and some of the lining area and so forth. So that was brought up, and we did approve $25,000 for renovations and repairs to the Tewksbury High School baseball field. They practice there, they have games there, so I think it's much needed, and so that was approved by the committee. There was another request that I brought up to seeing the not long, but many people using Long Pond nowadays. I don't know if anybody drives by Long Pond, but a lot of people have been using Long Pond for fishing and recreation and so forth. So I have brought up an issue of possibly getting some funds from the CPC committee to stock the pond with some fish, so that people, when they go there, they have like a recreational use to use the pond and have fish maybe in there to catch. I don't know how well it is stocked now. I don't think it's ever been stocked. So that issue was brought up, and we're still in discussions for a request for like $10,000 to get some fish, the appropriate fish that go in that pond. It's not that deep, I don't think, so probably 10 or 12 feet at max. So that's in discussions, and other than that, the CPC meeting ended and we were fine. So, but all set.
All right, anyone else? No? All right, moving on to town planners report. Slaughter?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of quick notes for our September 8th meeting. In addition to the continued hearings, we have one new family suite special permit application scheduled for 94 North Street. Another item of note is the Ella Fleming's renovation project is underway at this point. The contractor is setting up the site and getting the permit applications in, and we expect them to start work soon, and they will be working on the site through the spring. And last item of note, the building commissioner and I hosted an ADU FAQ on Tuesday, August 12th at the library. 35 people participated in that discussion. And if anyone missed that discussion, is looking for more information about ADUs, they are welcome to reach out to the office. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to agenda item B3, 2122 Main Street, request for a fence to exceed 7 feet. Do we have somebody here for that?
We're supposed to.
All right, well, we'll skip over that for now. Maybe we'll return to it if someone comes in. So we'll move on to agenda item B4, 118 Heath Street, approval not required plan. Do we have anybody here for 118 Heath Street?
Mr. Chairman, I have not had any correspondence with the applicant's representative since the last meeting, and they have not submitted any further documentation for consideration.
Okay. So we don't even have a plan not to have to approve?
So
Okay,
you are
moving
welcome.
on.
Yeah, you're welcome to put it on a future agenda or,
Well,
you know,
I'm
take an
not
action
putting it
to not
on
act.
anything unless someone calls up and asks us again, right?
Okay,
'Cause,
so would you like it effectively removed
Yeah,
until they come back?
unless somebody's going to respond or
Okay.
something, I'm not going to put it on the agenda and do that over and over again. Clearly, they're not
Because we had
chomping at the bit.
requested legal counsel on that too, right?
Yes.
So, okay. I agree. Thank you.
All right, so that brings us to agenda item B5, which is 1628, 1636 Shawshene Street, minor site plan modification request. Is there anybody here for that? Just give your name for the record.
Robert Zwicker, 1628 and 1636 Shawshene Street.
Floor is yours.
So I was here, I moved in May, and obviously it's my first time on the property, so trying to get an understanding of the flow and how the property works. The major issue we had was with customers or people understanding where to drive when they come into the property, just the way it's laid out. So I'm here to ask for a waiver for 6 more parking spots to not be on pavement. We are limited on the pavement, and we are looking, I propose putting 6 spots behind the house at 1636 Shawshene Street. And I also wanted to bring to attention, you can see on the plans, we have a small area on the backside of where those parking spots are proposed, where we have decided to sell some plants, shrubs, type stuff, mainly for contractors coming in. If they want to come in for their mulch for their customers in the spring, they can pick up their seasonal plantings, be more of a one-stop shop for them. It will bring in a small amount of retail, same as the rest of our products do. It's not a big part of our business, but people do drive by and they will stop in. So I just want to be upfront about that. And the other thing I was looking to do is allow some space for some displays in front of the building. I guess we had potentially a couple of complaints that we were having some stuff too close to the street, which we did. I didn't know the bylaws, so we thought curb appeal would look good for the town, and I have found out that there's a process to that. In the future, I'd like to put a landscape bed along the sidewalk area so we can have some permanent plantings and probably a sign, but again, it's a new investment, so it's going to take a little while to really get everything done the way I'd like to, but I would like to have the availability to put some of those displays on the right-hand side as the contractors are driving in to kind of see what we have on their way in, and some displays in front of the building just to kind of dress it up more than anything. I think that's about it for me.
All right. Mr. Champa, anything?
So we have, let's see here. So basically, the only variance you're looking for is to have the parking spaces off of not on pavement, right?
Correct.
Everything else, it seems like is more just, well, I like paragraph 4 in your email, which was additional markings for loading areas, pedestrian areas, things like that. I think that's positive. So I guess my only question is, what is if Ms. Lauder could fill me in, what is the bylaw as far as like having parking that's not on pavement, not striped? And I think you had the right idea, put some kind of a base with the sign to indicate.
Yeah, we have
generally,
6-foot concrete blocks, so my thought would be they'd be spaced out in a parking sign on each one, so it'd be kind of straightforward that you pull up to each one, and it would represent the parking spot that has the parking sign on it.
Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty good? How far off is he with the waiver that he's requesting?
It's just that the bylaw requires that all parking spots are located on paved areas unless expressly waived by the planning board with appropriate findings. So if you find that his request is reasonable, then you are allowed to permit him to locate parking spaces that are not on paved areas.
Okay. And the areas that I saw were not on the side where there's conservation area, but you're closer to the refrigeration? Is it
Correct.
still a refrigeration
Actually, the
plant
spot that is out of the AUL.
there? Okay.
It's that one area. So it just seemed right because it gets people to come in and just get off to the side and not be where the action is of trucks being loaded with mulch and things like that. And I'm glad you brought up, I did put the no parking like hash marks in that area. I do want to do something like that, but I'm playing with if I do get the parking to be allowed in the back where I would kind of cut through some of the hash marks and kind of create a lane so it's pretty clear that they should go that way.
Sure.
But the crosswalks and stuff for customers would remain.
So I guess, I don't see anything here that I have any real problem with. But when you came in before us in May, you were pretty clear that this was going to be primarily contractor-based, knowledgeable people that visit regularly with their pickups and flatbeds and whatnot, picking up materials, delivering them. Wasn't meant to be retail. So we did give you quite a bit of leeway as far as parking and drive lanes and signage and things of that nature. So you're starting to trend in the direction of having more retail traffic. So I guess what I would say is if the site starts to look like you have a significant retail customer base coming through there regularly, we might want to come back and revisit some of your setup.
I think that would be happening anyways. If we were going to go that route, we would want to have that look that we're set up for, because right now we're not.
I mean, I'm happy that Tewksbury people want to stay and buy their shrubs and mulch and everything
Yeah.
in Tewksbury. I think that's great. But the site isn't really designed for heavy traffic flow for just, for intermittent customers.
I agree. I understand.
All right, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Fuchsia?
I don't have anything at this time.
Mr. Duffy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm just trying to do a little math here. So the red spaces are showing, you say 6 regular and 1 accessible. It looks like 5 and 1 accessible there to me.
5, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
I had 6 there, and then I realized that 5 was all I needed.
Right. And then you're saying 4 or 5 above. So do you have any idea which it's going to be? Like up off to the right there? The red.
4 to 5 regular spaces, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I only need 4 to meet the bylaws. I just put in possibly an extra one just to have the extra one, but 4 gets my requirements.
So your main issue is that the ones that you want to put up behind the single-family unit, we can't pave that area right there, so you're going to be parking them on dirt spaces.
Correct.
So you were concerned about not being able to mark out the parking spaces exactly. Well, what's your game plan there?
For the marking of the spaces back there?
Somehow to have a rough.
Yeah, so that's what we discussed in the beginning, is we have 2 foot deep by 2 foot tall by 6 foot wide blocks that we use to separate the area, and they would be spaced out with a parking sign on each one.
Okay. All right, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. I don't have a problem with the redesign there.
Mr. Fratelli?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I did visit your site one day last week. I
Excellent.
seen the flowers outside. I'm like, well, I'm gonna pull in. But the markings as to where if I should park out front, if I should pull in the side, I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And that's me, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty familiar with the site because you've come a number of times. So I think you have to get that cleared away with the proper arrows entering and exiting somehow, some way, because
Totally.
I didn't know whether I should park out front or not.
I know.
I parked out front, I just took a quick look,
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, I think it's probably in the wrong spot here, so, and I didn't
that is our
get
biggest.
out of the car,
Yeah.
so, I mean, so you coming in tonight was like, okay, I can explain to him what happened to me as a regular customer and resident of the town, and it's probably happened to others, so you have to get that squared away somehow and to get the markings done right so that people know where to come and they want to stay, or they're parked in the right spot, so So with that being said, I don't have a problem with you parking the cars, the extra spots you need there and behind the house, but why can't you put pavement there?
Well, the biggest thing is just understanding exactly how we want to use the property, what the house is going to be. Like, right now, we have parking for 100 square feet of office space in that house, which
Yep.
is just used for a bathroom.
Okay.
It's just overkill for what we're doing right now on the parking.
Okay.
A lot of the area has been raised up to cap the site from what it was to, make it environmentally safe, health. So, I would never want to pave something so quickly anyways, but I do have interest in paving down the road.
Okay.
In mainly areas like this where I can.
I'm just thinking, dirt versus like even a gravel, maybe?
It's a milling, so it's a solid pack.
Oh, okay, all right,
So
all right.
there's no sinking, no nothing like that.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
mean, I know what the milling is, but that'll work too, but, yeah, and I don't have a problem with it, if it's, you could park there and walk over to see the plants as well too, right, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
It
Well,
ain't
the plants are right there, so that was kind of it. If we do get a homeowner coming in, it would be nice to just let them pull off to the side and just kind of look
Okay.
around and be out of the way.
So you have more plants over there that I missed?
Did you walk into behind the house?
No, I didn't.
So it's that area that's shown on the plans with the three
Yeah.
arrows. That area has, a decent variety, because if the contractors come in, they're not coming in for just one line, so you gotta have
Sure.
a handful of,
Okay,
a bunch of them,
See, by not pulling in, you might have lost a customer, which you did, because I
Which
didn't
is,
buy anything.
yeah, which is why we started putting some stuff out front.
Yeah.
But, it is a learning curve, trying to work within the
Sure.
bylaws and, with what we were trying to accomplish with having so many displays out front, it was pushing us in the direction of being more retail.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is not what we want to do, but when customers do come in, we want them to not be confused.
Yeah, okay.
Believe it or not, we have more people come in to look at the decorative stones before they buy them, because nobody
Yeah.
wants to get a truckload of material that
Sure.
they don't want.
Yeah.
So that's mainly what the people come in for.
I'm glad you're in Tewksbury too, because I went to Andover. Your last, are you still there in Andover?
I still have the property, but we're no longer there.
Okay, so you're all in Tewksbury?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, yeah, I don't have any problem with what you're trying to do, and hopefully down the road, if you decide to get rid of that single-family house, maybe you'll pave the whole area, and you'll be back in to see us again, so.
Correct,
so,
yeah. I
good,
appreciate
okay.
that, yeah.
All right, all set, Mr. Chairman.
So that's all the parking. What about the displays? What do we need for that?
So as a part of the special permit that Mr. Zwicker sought back in January, it was the retail sale of lumber and other farm supplies, and that does include plants. The only thing I will say is that the bylaw does cite a 15-foot setback for signage, and I think that the display should follow about the same setback, just to make sure that sight lines are not impaired when approaching Shawshene Street. I have also visited the site, and my car rides very low, and it is difficult to see if, you're not in a big truck, which I understand most of his customers are going to be in big trucks, but not everybody will be. So that's as far as the displays are concerned. So the only things that we're really looking for express permission from the planning board for here is a waiver from section 618B, which is requiring all parked areas to be on pavement, and another item for consideration when you are marking out the spots that are going to be behind the former single-family home in the garden center area, making sure that those spaces are maybe roped off as at least 9.5 feet wide to make sure that they're compliant.
Okay.
Okay, if that's all that we need, that's fine. Okay, I'm good. What is the pleasure of the board?
I'm making a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the minor site plan modification request at 162836 Shawshene Street.
All right,
If I may, Mr. Chairman, do we need to do public comment first?
Nope.
Just in case, no?
Not a
Okay.
public hearing.
it's in the administrative
I'll
actions.
rush over it. In that case, I second.
All right, got a motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, that takes care of those. Moving on to agenda item C, 15 Walcott Street, Family Suite Special Permit. I have a motion to waive the public reading.
So moved.
A motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Do we have anybody here for 15 Walcott Street? Once you get settled, just give your names for the record. The floor is yours.
My name is Paul O'Keefe.
Tanya Faria.
Floor is yours.
So I'm the general contractor. We're trying to do an in-law suite at this address. Tanya's mother-in-law and father-in-law currently live in a small starter home in town, but they're getting to the point in their health they need to be closer to them and be cared for. So it's an opportunity for their kids to get some life lessons, help with the grandparents, easier for them to take care of them, and it's going to create an opportunity for another young couple to buy a starter home in town. So I think it's a win-win, no matter how you look at it. It's about a 700 square foot family suite. It's incorporating part of the existing split-level basement. The addition's only 14 by 24. It's 3 levels, though. They're adding living area to their other 2 floors, but the bottom walkout basement will be the in-law suite.
All right, Mr. Fratelli?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I thought I had caught you guys on the zoning board of appeals.
Yes.
You go in front of them?
Yes.
So I didn't see the end of it, but did you get your approval for?
Yes.
That was a setback request, right?
Yes.
So, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I have no problem with the plans. I love the idea of the family suite, helping your mother and father-in-law, whatever it is, and family, keeping the family together. Plans are well done, very well done, and I really appreciated you doing that, going the extra mile for that, and, and biting the bullet to do more renovations for yourself is another good, while you're doing it, you might as well do it once. So it's the back deck, is that going to be going, or is that staying?
The back deck is staying. That's part of the existing house.
Okay,
They have a pool, above-ground pool out there.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we're going to the right side, and we're not affecting anything over there at all.
I got you. Good. Do you guys have sewer there now?
We're on town.
What's that?
We're on town sewer.
Town sewer,
and
okay.
water.
All right, great, okay. With that, I'm all set, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Mr. Duffy?
Yeah, that was the only question I had as well, was the setback on Brown Street there, and I realized you got it squared away, so good luck to you on that. And everything else looks fine to me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Mr. Fuchsia?
Everything looks great. The plans look great. I'm all set.
Mr. Chairman?
All set, Mr. Chairman.
Chair is all set as well. Anyone in the audience with any questions, comments, or concerns on this? Seeing none, bring it back to the board. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, we close the public hearing.
I have a motion made. Do I have a second?
Second?
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries as to the family suite special permit.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the family suite special permit at 15 Walcott Street as proposed.
I have a
Second.
motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
Moving on to agenda item D, 17 Marion Drive, family suite special permit. Do I have a motion to waive the public reading?
So moved.
A motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
If you need more seats, you can get more seats.
We're good.
Okay.
Once you're settled, give your names for the record. The floor is yours.
Nicholas Indrasano.
I'm Salvatore Michelli, Nicholas's uncle and the general contractor.
Okay. Floor is yours, gentlemen.
Floor is yours.
Floor is yours. You,
Okay,
just
so
let us know what you're
We're
doing.
looking for a family suite for Nicholas's growing family. It's going to be for his in-laws that are going to be living in it. The addition's approximately 20 by 20, which is about 400 square feet. And we're renovating the existing the two-car garage as part of the in-law apartment.
All right. Go back the other way around. Mr. Champa?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, really nice plans. Everything looks to be in order, so I guess the usual questions we ask, are you on town sewer already?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Fuchsia?
That front part, is that just a covering or is that a garage?
It's a garage.
It's a garage. I don't have anything else.
Mr. Duffy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the egress is there's a direct access into the house, into the hallway there, I see, right?
Correct. There's one coming in from the two-car garage.
And then the second one is going down into the garage. Yeah,
They both go into the family suite.
one of them goes downstairs though, right?
It goes down, it goes downstairs, correct.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's really all I have. It is a nice set of drawings, and, we wish you luck.
Thank you.
Mr. Fratelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Great plans. I mean, everything is there we needed to look at. A map as well, so we don't see that too often, but it was great. Once you come in here, we approve the plans, and the building inspector is now the eyes and ears for the town. He'll be your contact, and as well as Ms. Lauder. If you have any questions or concerns, you're in good hands, and he'll be deciding if something doesn't look right. He'll be going with you as far as changes and all that. So, but with that, I'm all set. Love the idea, and again, great plans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair is all set as well. Anyone in the audience with any questions, comments, or concerns on this one? Seeing
I
none?
had just one note that I missed when I was looking here. Ms. Lauder, do we still have the restriction on only having one street-facing front door?
Street facing is kind of subjective. If the building commissioner considers it to be a door that looks like a second front door, he'll make that determination. But
Because I didn't think this would qualify where it's kind of in the alcove there, so.
yeah. So
Definitely it's not-
we've had discussions about it. It doesn't present as a second front door, so I think
Okay.
it'll be fine. And if the building commissioner decides at a later date that there's another pathway that he'd rather see, he'll let you know, but I think that it'll be fine.
Okay, all set.
All right. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
A motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, motion carries. As to the family suite special permit.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the family suite special permit at 17 Marion Drive.
All right, I have a motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Moving on to agenda item E, 333 Main Street. Polar Engineering on behalf of Walmart Real Estate Business Trust, site plan review. Do I have a motion to waive the public reading?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, motion carries. Just give your name for the record. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Greg DeBono with Polar Engineering. I'm speaking on behalf of us as the applicant, as well as Walmart, who's our client. So I'm sure everybody's familiar with the Walmart and hopefully has seen the pickup operation that's out in the front parking lot today. There's a large canopy with designated pickup spaces and signage to use that operation. Basically, what Walmart's found pretty much at all their locations is that the pickup operation is doing what's intended to be, is very successful, and they look at it as a real opportunity for how they continue to stay relevant in the market and continue to grow and support the community. So the online grocery use continues to be a high need, and what they found is in order to basically service better, they need more space. They need more space in the building that is designated just for the online grocery operation. So what that means is it doesn't increase the retail sales area. It doesn't add any more square footage for that purpose. But what they are doing is they're adding these additions pretty much everywhere we can make them fit on the building to be able to provide space for the employees who solely work in the online grocery portion of the service of the building, where they can basically stock the orders more efficiently. So in this case, we actually have it called out on the plan right along the front. We call it out as 4,333 or 36 square feet expansion. The reality is part of that nook along the front's already there. There's about 1,250 square feet or so that's coming out. So the net increase is really only about a little over 3,000 square feet addition to the building. But we labeled it as the whole square footage because that's the new portion of the building. But the The operation that's out in the parking lot with the canopy and the spots that are there, that's all going to stay. We are looking to increase the pickup count, though, so the amount of pickup spaces designated with signs for that operation would be increasing. Those spots are also extra wide, so they're actually 12 feet wide with hairpin striping, which means that the inside of the hairpin striping is still 10 feet wide, so oversized wide spaces. It gives the employees more room to load and, basically service the customers as they stay in their car while the groceries get brought out and loaded up. So by doing that, we actually lose 16 parking spaces. And again, it hasn't really shown to be an issue with any operation. Basically, you get better turnover and better service, so it's worth to lose those spots. We're still overparked from what is required by the code. And in doing this expansion, which is really kind of along the front of the building, in between where the garden center is today and the main entrance vestibule, we're also just kind of cleaning up that curb line. Today, along the front drive aisle, there's kind of a lot of bends and kind of cuts in and jugs back out, and it's not very straight. So when I was looking at it, I said, look, from an engineering perspective, it makes a lot more sense just to run that curb line completely straight from where it comes off the garden center back to the main vestibule. So that's what we're doing. It does create a wider sidewalk, but it allows us to replant the landscape plantings that are along the front today, because the two planters that are out there are going to be coming out because they're basically in the way of construction, and then we'd be able to put back all the landscaping and the green space along the front. So kind of a wash on the impervious side, make it match what's there today. And again, all the improvements are really located in that front parking field where the pickup operation is now. So really, for the customers, it's not going to really feel any different than what it is now. Just hopefully they'll be able to get their service, their orders filled much faster. Today, it typically takes about 4 hours to between the time when you place your online order to when you're allowed to go pick it up. That's supposed to be at least cut in half when we have the new addition, because a lot of the most popular items, the grocery items, are stocked right in that small addition space, so that the employees who usually go and take the order and go through the store and literally do the shopping for you, that could take like an hour of time, somebody putting a big order together. Now that's going to be significantly cut down, because a lot of the most common, your milks, your eggs, your cheese, whatever, are right there, and they can just get it in that staging room and only go out to the main floor area for the more rare items that aren't on everybody's grocery list. So that's the intent. As part of a submission, we did ask for at least a waiver on the drainage requirements. We did not provide any drainage calculations. That was just because the site has a thorough history of drainage design previously. We're not changing any of the drainage features that's there today. All the patterns are going to remain exactly the same, and we're not increasing impervious coverage. So we just didn't provide any additional calcs, but it's, the site's been pre-assessed and pre-designed for those conditions. And then we did receive a review letter last week. I quickly put together some responses because I felt like a lot of the comments were easily clarified, and just wanted to make sure everybody understood what was shown on the plan. Probably the biggest one was that square footage discrepancy. Just try to clarify, is that all new, or is some of that building square footage part of the redo? So I put that kind of in writing to clarify exactly why that number's a little different. And the good news is, obviously, that doesn't change any of the parking calcs or ratios or anything that we had on the plan. There was also a reference to snow storage, which we did not call out on our plan, but we did have the previously approved plans from roughly about 10 years ago that had all the snow storage areas called out and calculated. So we just relabeled them on the set that I brought here tonight. So those don't change at all. Those are all located within the front parking field. They're outside of the area of the pickup operation, so it doesn't get changed by this, but those are now clarified on the plans. And then there were some comments and questions just about the lighting, just because the lighting plan that we submitted didn't really have like the typical cut sheets that show the type of lights and show that they were all full cut off, downward facing lights, LED fixtures. So we did clarify that and attach that, but those all comply with the code requirements as well. So, but again, yeah, I've been working with Walmart on these all across the Northeast. Almost every Walmart you see is having something like this improved in between, whether it was last year, this year, and next year. So this one is one that doesn't really change a lot from what's happening at the store today, which is nice. We do have a wayfinding sign plan that we provided with the set. Just basically shows those type of directional signage as you come into the site. It says pickup, and those signs are actually all there today, but we just kind of revamped them with newer signage, so it follows Walmart's latest prototype. The other thing you'll see is that the building itself is actually getting some new signage, but the signage is actually less square footage than what's out there today. So Walmart, as part of their rebranding, they've kind of gone away from the Spark symbol, the big gold emblem. Now there's kind of back to saying Walmart, not Walmart with the Spark. So as a result, the square footage, I think, becomes roughly about 100 square feet less on the building. We still have a total of 8 signs, but it's like 400 something square feet versus over 500. So. Again, sometimes they do this kind of national rebranding. At the end of the day, I think it just makes the site look nicer and cleaner. So that's all part of the revamp of the project. And at the end of the job, the whole site gets like fresh, seal coat and restriping. So the whole parking lot looks new. So that's always a nice improvement as well. So looking at the plans, if you see a lot of the call outs for the stop bars and the pavement arrows and the stop signs, that's just us telling the contractor to make sure they're refreshing all that. So the whole site will basically have new signage and stop control and pedestrian crossing, painting. Everything's going to look nice and fresh. So, that's kind of all I had.
All right. Mr. Fuchsia?
So you said the tent is going to stay up?
Yeah, that canopy in the parking lot would stay. The one that says pickup in it now for the pickup spaces, that still remains.
So that'll always be there?
Yeah. Yep.
Even through the winter and stuff?
Oh, yeah, no, it's a permanent structure. It's not like a temporary tent.
Okay.
That's a full structural canopy that's out there. I don't know when that got approved at.
2022.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so that must have been approved here at one time.
Yep.
On some sites, they are taking them away, but only if they get in the way of where the expansion's going.
Okay.
In this case, since the expansion all falls within like the building envelope, basically, the canopy can stay because that's still out in the middle of the parking lot.
And you said the signage isn't getting any larger?
No, yeah, it's getting actually smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm all set, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Champlin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Would you say that you're increasing customer pickup for groceries, right? And this is going to make it even faster?
That's correct, yep.
Obviously, that Walmart has a huge customer base. On a percentage basis, I mean, since you've done several of these, I assume most of them have gone into operation.
Yeah.
What's been the increase in traffic?
So the story we tell about the traffic is not so much that we're seeing more cars come and go, but the difference is the people that would usually come into the store aren't coming into the store anymore. So the shoppers are doing more online shopping, more planning ahead. You have a lot more of an activity of the pickup around like commuter time. People put in their order at work, want to stop on the way home, get their groceries loaded and then go. So we're not seeing like a trip generation type increase because the trip generation is really already pretty blown out based on the size of the building. But it's more just people that used to be placing the order and having to wait 4 hours or more to go pick it up can now maybe get their groceries within an hour. So it's more just the convenience factor, not so much more activity.
Okay. Having driven across the front of the store a number of times, I'm a little bit concerned just about if we have pickup people there, a lot of employees coming back and forth with orders out to the cars. I mean, everything is well marked, but have you thought at all about maybe cordoning off an area for the employees and directing people coming in to going, to a certain point and then looping back to find their parking, and so that there's not traffic going across the front of the store with cars, which is a heavy pedestrian area?
Sure. Yeah, so in this case, the pickup operation is the same spot that it's in now. So the pickup door, the pedestrian crossing, and across from the canopy, that's all what's happening now, so that's not changing. This is located closer to the garden center side, which at least is further away from the main front door. And some stores, they're actually using the front door, which is where everybody else is coming in and out to do pickup, and that's very problematic. Then you get a lot of the roll cart activity from the employees with the main traffic flow. This is already kind of pushed as far off as it can while still accessing the front parking lot. On some stores, we actually do put them on the side of the store. In this location, there is no ability to have side parking. We did look at that. That's actually our preference, to move it to the side. But the fact that it's closest to the garden center, which is kind of their quietest entry point, is still considered like a good solution here. Just to clarify, that door too for pickup is only available for the employees. So no customers coming in and out of that door at all.
Okay.
So in other words, there's no interaction between the regular pickup employee operation and then customers that might be trying to come in and out in the same entry point.
Okay, so basically, if someone's coming and they know they're going to the garden center, they're probably going to the far side of the parking lot and coming down.
Right.
If somebody's going in the main doors, there's really not much reason why they would drive all the way past this section.
Exactly right. You'd have to go past the main entry accidentally to get to the pickup area, then almost double back and go to the main entry point. And that is kind of why we put so many of those pickup directional signs. We hope that people are following that if they're going just for the pickup operation and trying to pull that activity further away from the front door. Actually, you'll see at this site and at all Walmart sites, you'll never see those pickup signs go in front of the front door because we don't want anybody accidentally driving that way in front of the main entrance. So you'll see them loop. We actually force people to loop around the perimeter of the parking lot and then go to the pickup area. So trying to mitigate that cut through of people trying to just get right to their pickup spot.
Okay.
It is a little bit of a challenge when you have a store like this that really only has one main entry. Some stores have two entry points, but this one with the layout, it basically only allows for one main entry vestibule. So.
All right, and then my other comment was going to be about the lighting, but you put a response in this packet that you left tonight, so I'm all good for tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Vitale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So regarding the pickups, how much time do you think it takes for someone to drive in, get their pickup and out the door?
On average, it's 5 minutes.
Oh,
5 minutes, yep.
that's good.
Yeah, that's the data that they've given us. They literally can claim that they do anywhere from 10 to 12 deliveries an hour per space. That's what they think they can handle.
So what do they come in, park in a space, call into the office saying they're here, and then
That's right.
they bring it out?
Yep, there's a call number right on the space, so you let them know. A lot of times, people do this now with the app, and the app allows them just to notify them when they're there.
Right.
The app actually even gives them an option where you can say, if you're comfortable with it, you can allow them to track your car, so
Yeah.
they'll know when you pull in,
Okay.
and you're already there.
Okay. Sounds like you got it all down pat pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty sophisticated system. I mean, this is really, this is a program that Walmart's really committed to. So they've been, again, doing this nationwide, for quite some years. The sites in the Northeast, actually, we're actually kind of a little behind up here. There's a lot more sites in the South that have been doing this like this with the full expansions for many years already.
Okay. Sounds good. So time-wise, how much time are you going to be needing from start to finish to complete the project as far as
Yeah, so the site work.
construction and so forth. That's going to that's going to implement residents coming in and out.
Sure, yeah, right, and so the store would stay open all through construction, so it would be phased. The typical site work schedule is less than 3 months, but the internal components, the whole project will be about 6 months.
Okay.
So they'll start with the internal work. They'll do the demo of that front tenant space. They'll blow out the expansion portion, they'll reconfigure the sidewalk, and then they'll wait and do all the site work kind of towards the end, once the interiors all fit out.
So for the most part, the construction is all going to be on the sidewalk for the most part, right?
That's right,
So
yeah.
you're just going to cut down in the sidewalk and back to the house.
Exactly, so we'll be able to fence off a good portion of just that section of the sidewalk from the garden center to the main entrance vestibule,
Yeah.
but leave those entrances alone until the time when, there is part of the modification does kind of demo and rebuild that little false wall that's in front of the garden center.
Yeah.
So when that happens, there's going to be some phasing that's going to have to happen with the garden center itself, but most of the main operation won't be impacted at all. We're not really doing anything to the front entrance, the main entrance vestibule.
So I had a question for you in the parking lot, and
Yep.
I've seen this before. So there's an area for reserve parking near the front entrance door itself, it's like the second aisle in.
Okay.
What is who parks in the reserve parking area?
Is that the,
Veterans.
is that the veterans or like sometimes the
Well, the
employee-
veteran
police?
spot out front, but then as you go back, the next aisle in, after the first aisle, there's a reserve parking area that's all fenced off with X's and so forth, and I see it on the side, I'm like, I just see,
George Corral.
I don't think it's.
Oh,
I think
I don't, maybe I'm
What are
not
the
thinking the
plans
same
here?
thing. I mean,
They have one space that's usually marked off for like a.
we usually have one for
security vehicle.
police and
Yeah,
security.
Police.
That's in the first row coming down, I remember that. But it's the next aisle over in, and it says reserve parking, and I never could understand what that was used for. I see cars double parked there sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. The pickup spaces are definitely defined. The,
Yeah, but that's on the other side.
yeah, and all
This
the
is on the other side,
accessible
huh?
spaces are there. You know what, I'll have to relook at what that could have been for. Maybe it was reserved, but then maybe it got moved. Maybe it was supposed to be.
Well, I think it's still there. I just didn't know who parks there.
Yeah, so in other words, it's not a special, Walmart doesn't do any reserved for like their employees or anything, or for like a manager space. So the only time it would have been reserved would have been if it was a request from like police or safety or security or something. But it's funny, I'm looking at my plan right now, I actually don't have that called out, which means when they restripe it, they'll probably just restripe it as a regular space. It won't be reserved anymore if I don't tell them what it's reserved for.
Yeah, I didn't, I was like, I wonder who does park there? You know, it's just-
Yeah, and there are
months ago.
EV spots further out into the parking field, which I'm sure you've seen too, all the EV stations, but those are further out.
Yeah.
I can't think of what actually might be that close. I'll take another look just to verify, but
Probably 50 feet from the front door.
yeah,
And the
okay.
second row in, but
all right.
not a big deal, so. And you'll have plenty of parking spaces because you have enough on the lot now, right?
Yeah,
You're not gonna add any more signs? The signs that are there are gonna be the same signs, just refreshed a little bit, right?
so, talking about building signs or parking lot signs?
Both.
Well, okay, so the building signs,
You said maybe
there's a
small.
total of 8 there now. There's gonna be 8 that come back.
Okay.
But the net square footage is a little bit less. On the parking lot, we have signs for all the pickup spaces. So today I think there's only like 12 pickup spaces. Going forward, I think we have up to, I want to say 30, but I should double check that number. Hold on, let me see how many I have. 33.
There are gonna be
pickup.
signs posted on the wall or on the driveway?
There's a bollard right in front of each space with a sign.
Okay.
That says pickup and like the call
Yeah,
number.
number, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so site signage goes up, by that amount because of each sign. And then we just have the pickup wayfinding signs. But yeah, the rest of the signs on site will feel what's there today.
Okay, all right. All right, I didn't get a chance to look at the plans you submitted today.
Sure.
Usually we get them before, but
Yeah.
I don't have time to read them, so that's a no-no. But
Yeah.
with that, I'm all set, Mr. Chairman.
So Duffy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the gates on the right-hand side that go into the garden center there, what do you use those for, and when are those open?
So the gates,
Like the open gates?
Yeah. So usually they use those when it's like loading the bulk goods, if they need to get in with the
More
forklift.
of a loading area as opposed to a customer?
Yeah, I don't think they usually don't keep those gates open for customer access. It's only for bringing the larger pallets in and out. So the only door that should be open to the garden center is the one that's like facing the parking lot. That's like the actual customer entry point. Yeah, they shouldn't be leaving any of the chain link fence type gates open.
Okay. Now, there is a cash register inside in the garden area, right? Where people can pay and then walk out that door there, right?
They sometimes do that, yes.
And that's going to stay during construction and there'll be, we don't know yet.
I don't know yet. I don't know. So what happens is after we get through like the approval process and then it goes through building department
Yeah.
approval, then Walmart actually has an internal phasing team that works out all the logistics of what happens inside the building. So I can't say for sure if they're going to keep that open like throughout construction, but the intent is that that garden center will still be the garden center. So if they use it for seasonal sales where they have a register present, it will still likely be there. I know a lot of them though don't keep them year round. In other words, they keep the register, but they won't do checkouts during winter time. They'll only do for like when the flower sales are big is when they'll open up that register.
Okay. Yeah, no, I went and sat in a parking space today and watched the operation. It was pretty slick, really, you know?
Yeah.
So I would imagine that if you're going to be sort of prepping or stockpiling grocery orders in that area, that there's going to be some type of refrigeration or...
Yeah, they do use the same type of refrigerators that are inside the store. So like the case refrigeration with the doors. So they have like the roll-off refrigerators like that line the inside of that space.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then I was just curious, I was looking at nothing to do with what you're doing, but what is on the roof of the main building? Are those all solar panels?
Yeah, I think those are all solar that was put up, which is also another direction Walmart's been going, where they've been starting to put solar on their roofs.
There was a time when I heard that, you know, Walmart, because they have so much roof space, was cutting into the utilities' profits because they were generating so much of their own electricity. I think that's probably a good thing, you know?
I remember years ago when somebody was pitching to Walmart that they should do solar, they told them they could be one of the largest solar owners in the world if they put solar on all the roofs. So I don't know. I don't know the backstory of all the solar operation. I don't usually get into that part of it, but I do know that on other projects, we have seen solar being retrofit onto the roofs as well. Yeah.
No, I see, you know, you have some detail on what the construction fence is going to look like.
Yep.
I'm sure that'll all be controlled by fire department, building department, and so forth, so.
Yep.
So you'll have your chance to tweak all that stuff there. Yeah, that's really all I have for now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, everybody's pretty much covered what I wanted to go over, so I'm good. Anyone in the audience with any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none. Slaughter, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the submission stuff. I would just assume typically we would push this off to the next meeting to make sure all the stuff got submitted correctly, but that's, I don't know.
That's up to you guys. I was able to briefly look at it, and it appears that the questions have been answered, the ones that I raised in my note to them. The only thing I want to take a much closer look at and confer with the building commissioner on is to make sure that the signs don't need any discretionary permitting, because I don't want to close this out and then have you folks have to come back to us in a couple of months. I'm fairly confident that based on Mr. DeBona's discussion here that it's probably fine, but if the board can either make it contingent on discussing with the building commissioner, or you can kick it to the next meeting and we'll probably have everything wrapped up for September 8th. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, we're not month to month right now. We're going back to our 2 weeks.
September 8th.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're back on a normal schedule, so unless anybody has an objection, I would presume we'll just continue it to the next meeting. That way they can check what they need to check, and we only do this once.
We've been pretty consistent with that. I think that'd be the right way to go.
Okay. All right. So with that, then, what is the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to continue to our September 8th meeting.
At 7:15. I have a motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Okay, very good.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
That moves us to agenda item F, 913 East Street. The applicant has requested that we continue that until, what do we have them on for? 7:05 on the 8th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. That brings us to agenda item G, 485 Main Street. The applicant has also requested to be continued to our September 8th meeting. We have that one penciled in for 7:10. So I have a motion to continue that till 7:10 on 9/8.
So moved.
A motion made, do I have a second? Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. That brings us to agenda item H, 270 Main Street. This is continued from our 7:14 meeting. Well, once you get settled, if you give your names for the record, the floor is yours.
Richard Bellino, McGovern Hyundai.
John Crandall, Upland Hyundai.
Your name.
Robert Sullivan.
All right, floor is yours,
So this
gentlemen.
is a motion to continue, we're trying to get a permit to park at the KFC in Tewksbury, and we've been going back and forth on what the events were, what the parking spots were and everything. So I brought down the board of directors to explain the parking areas and what goes on for function and the capacity of those functions to help clarify some of the details that I couldn't answer for you. So with that, I'd like to have Robert explain how the spaces work and how much available space that we have that's available for us.
Okay.
I feel I can answer any question that you might have on, this is my first time
Yeah,
here.
It might be quicker if I kind of do it this way. I think the way we left it was that the site, as far as we can tell, has exactly the number of spaces the site's supposed to have. Okay? So our issue, and I think this is what we had said before, was that you're using a chunk of those spaces. You've got them triple parked right now. I don't know how many total spaces that covers. I'm not really sure. But even if it were considered one space being used for all three of those cars, any number of spaces is reducing the parking below the minimum requirement. So when we left it before, at least if I'm mistaken, I'm just glad to clarify, but what we said was, if they're trying to say they don't need all the spaces because of some willingness to cut down on something or whatever it is, that's what we were looking for. We were looking for some sort of plan for how that was going to be dealt with, whether it was, here are the events or whatever, but that's where we left it, because unless there's more spaces there than we're aware of, they don't have any to spare based on the requirements to give you. Maybe they aren't using them, but that's not the same thing as the number that they're required to have. So they can't just give them up and then still go on doing everything the way they were doing it. That's where we kind of were leaving it. Is that basically accurate?
Yes.
If I remember
So,
correctly?
Mr. Chairman, if they were to just give us a letter stating that they will only book functions up to a certain size because that's all the remaining spaces they have available, is that kind of what we're looking for? Just to acknowledge that we've reduced our parking spaces for our functions from X to Y, therefore we will not book a function from that same percentage of what our maximum capacity is.
And that's sort of part of the issue, is like you have a certain capacity for the building, for both the function side and for your members side.
Right.
And that square footage equates to, is it 90? If I remember correctly?
If I may, we have a capacity, according to the fire department, and we have a capacity of 200 for the function hall, 70 for the members hall. We never rent out 200. We don't even have the ability to seat 200, although that's our capacity. At present, I walked today, we have 89 spots, not counting where his cars are. that are completely open, which includes 7 handicap spots. We usually rent,
I think there's part of the problem, because if you've got basically the 90 without wherever it is they're parked, then we don't have a plan that's showing us the accurate parking for the site.
okay,
That would solve part of the problem, is if we knew exactly how many spaces are actually there, because if they exceed the 90, and you still basically have the 90, if it's a one space difference, I'm sure we can probably live with it.
I guess what I'm saying is we have 89 that are available completely, not counting where his cars are, okay? We went probably, the month of September, we have 2 functions that are booked. The month of August, we had 4, okay? We usually do showers,
Oh, no, I
things
understand
like,
all that.
so we only have like functions of, say, 30, 40, 50 people. We might have upwards of maybe 70. So even though we have a capacity of 200, I know what you're saying, we have to have it
Right.
legally, but
But I don't know if you get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you can show us on a parking plan that you already have 90 spaces available beyond where you've got their cars parked, then we can probably move this a lot simpler, because that's your requirement. You need 90. If you have 90 plus another 30, and those are what they're using, then we can work with that, because you're still meeting your requirement. You have excess parking. But the only plan we have on file that I'm aware of only shows 90 spaces. So we don't know about the additional.
when you say you have a plan on file, what do you mean, in the town clerk's office, or
Mr.
some
Chair,
office that has?
I can clarify, it's not, we don't have any plans on
You do-
file.
I didn't think you did.
This was me going out and going on the aerial imagery that we have and physically counting the
Okay, because I
numbers.
know when you had the first meeting, Rich called me that night, and he said, we needed 90 because that's our capacity, and I knew we had 270 as our capacity.
Right.
So we needed 90.
Right.
And my question to him was, has anyone ever contacted us, come down, walked around, counted them?
Well, here's the
asked
thing.
us for
He's-
the information? I'd
he's-
gladly give you the information.
So I guess
It's
this is.
not that,
See,
there's no
I guess here's
plan.
the-
all the questions have been going to him,
Give us.
and the Knights of Columbus probably could answer it all.
Us a parking plan
I'll gladly do
that
that.
shows all the spaces.
That's not a
And
problem.
if you have 90 spaces lined for use, and then you have some other section that maybe isn't paved for parking spaces, and that's where they are,
They
show
have
us
to be
that.
paved.
That's-
It's riverfront area, they have to be on paved area for this one.
What does?
The-
I meant unmarked. I meant
Yeah,
unmarked.
unmarked, okay.
Unlined. I apologize. I didn't mean
We need 90 spots, not counting where they are.
Correct.
Okay. I do have one question, though. At one time, we took down some fencing where our horseshoe pits were to enable him to park cars in there. This is at the very beginning, so that we had plenty of space no matter what. We had over 100 parking spots. And I wasn't even looking at the capacity. I just knew this would be, you're out of the way, you're not moving them, you're just leaving them there. But then he came back to me and said that you told him he couldn't park there on the dirt. Do
Correct.
So what I understand, what I'm now getting,
you want me to,
is
do you want me to
that there's
gravel
no
it?
parking
Would that-
plan.
No, because that's our jurisdictional
No
area.
parking plan, period.
Right.
We
We
need a
need something
picture
that
of the
shows us,
ground.
all we knew about was that they needed 90. Ms. Lauder had a hand count of basically 90 spaces.
Right.
What we're hearing now is there's more than room for that, and then there's more, and that's where you are.
Right.
That could be fine, but someone has to now get us a plan that shows us that, so that we can add it to the file. Then we can make a decision and say, look, they've got 90, we're fine with you guys doing this, because it's not affecting anything. We don't have to go through a lot of bells and whistles beyond that, if you've already got what you need. If it turns out you have a little then we can work with it maybe, if it's a little, but our issue was at the time is that it seemed a little bit like you had 90 spaces, you're taking up 30 of them, and now we're down to 60, and now we got a problem. You know what I mean?
I
So,
understand that, but that's not the case, but that's fine.
but we don't know that.
Yeah.
So once we know that, then we can probably move this
So we just
process
need a
along.
parking
So we need a
I'll
parking.
gladly get it to you. Not a problem.
Go ahead.
If I may.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, Mr. Chairman, would a narrative work as, as opposed to an actual plan? Because I actually went to the site myself today, and I counted 88, so one of us is one off. But the only problem with that is that you have 40 cars there today-ish, and how many do you want to put there?
That's it.
That's all you want to put there?
That's it.
That was our
They're the
agreement.
same cars that have been there for the last.
That was our agreement from the beginning.
They've been there for
Our
9
agreement from the
I think
beginning was that
the
was it.
simplest way to do this, we need a parking plan. We need to see the lined spaces, and
Okay.
then the section you're going to put them in,
All right.
so that we understand that we see enough spaces, or if it turns out we're one or two short, we can probably deal with that. But it needs to be something that we can then put in the file that goes along with us dealing with this
That's fine.
request.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask, would he ask for a narrative, would that suffice, or do you want me to come up with a plot plan?
I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I would think Ms. Lauder would like to have something a little bit official.
That's fine.
For the file, just because it's going to go along with a permit we're going to issue.
Okay.
Just, something that's accurately depicting what's on site.
Mr. Chairman, I would
Space-wise.
say I'd be willing, I mean, I have, the Google Earth image right here. I have no problem. If you take that snapshot, just draw the lines on it of the spaces and show the count.
Okay?
I mean, so it doesn't have to be something, in my opinion, just for my satisfaction, it doesn't have to be something that you pay a surveyor for and wait a month or 6 weeks or something like that.
Okay.
Just take this, darken up all the lines so the spaces are defined, show the count, which is typically, we usually see it, it's a number in a circle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 88 or 89. We'll see you, I'm looking forward to see who wins the over-under on that.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to comment. Mr. Sullivan reached out to me, and I met Mr. Sullivan and Rich at the site. We walked the site, we talked about what the conflict was and what they needed and so forth. And I mentioned to Mr. Sullivan, I said, how many events do you have? He said, Vinny, we don't have many events at all. This has been going on for 9 months, and there hasn't been a problem at the site, one problem at all. He did tell me that they moved all the big cars out of the site, and most of their small cars are there, which freed up a lot more space because they can fit more into where they were putting them. So he says he has a couple of events that are 30 or 40 people with small parties and so forth and so on. I walked the site, and I'm telling you, there's plenty of space down there for any events that they want to handle at that capacity.
So my only issue with that, and the only reason that.
It's temporary, it's not a full-time thing.
I understand that, but my concern is, next week, I don't want MVP in here telling us we don't need all our spaces, and we want to have, Chevrolet somebody come down and park a bunch of their extra vehicles here. That's why I want to do this, you know what I mean? I understand that they may not have events that bang out the parking lot, but how many more people do we want coming in saying that? We don't need all our parking, without something.
They have an agreement with them month to month. I mean, he could have his place done and move them out in 3 months. And if you guys haven't been operating for 7 months, then 8 months, whatever, then I would say, okay, maybe there's a question. But you guys have been operating with no
Not to
issues.
interrupt you, but could we get a narrative approval subject to get you a site plan? The site plan's gonna work. I mean, it's there, it's in pictures on Google Earth, without having to come back month after month. Because we've been there, like I said, going on 10 months right now. We only need probably another 10 months left.
We tore down our building.
The building is down in Wilmington. They're just clearing the site, and then they're gonna start building. Or do we want us to come back again next month? That's totally up to the chairman.
It's up to the board members. Like I said, I'd like to see us with something for the file.
And that will happen within a week?
Couple of days, 2 days.
So that will happen in a couple of days.
So again, the other members can
whatever the
vote
board
however they want,
decides.
but my issue is we still don't know what that's going to show. So if we approve it and you come in at 89, okay, 88, okay. But where is my cutoff for what if we're wrong about the number? We're just going off what we think the number is right now because we still haven't seen anything.
Well, we could make it worded so it's a plan showing a minimum 88 spots, because that's the low
Again,
end of
if that's what the other members want, that's fine.
Yeah, because the cars that are down there, like you were saying, the cars that are there now is pretty much the full capacity without one or two. They're there. I put cars down there, the smaller cars, the Elantras, the Venues, the little cars that are there, that are slow movers, we put them there, so there wouldn't be a lot of activity in that one. We have a lot that we put 250 cars on in Wilmington right now that handled pretty much everything else plus we still have all the electric cars down there at Maverick. But our building is down now. Most of the cars are off the main lot. I've had a lot less cars coming in from Hyundai. We ended up buying 7 Hyundai stores, so I have a lot of parking at those stores that I can pull from when I have customers. So we're at probably within 1 or 2 cars, full capacity of the way it's set now. So if we went and took a picture of it right now, you could get what you're requesting.
Like I said, I'll leave it up to the other board members. You can, what you guys want.
I guess if you want to walk away tonight with a plan, what I would say is, if you can show a parking plan that there's 88 available spaces or more, then that would be sufficient for this to move forward. If you have less than 88 spaces, then I want a letter from the Knights of Columbus that they will, on a proportionate level, scale down any functions so that it doesn't exceed the available parking.
Well,
Which
the other thing,
doesn't
Mr.
sound like
Camper,
it's
is
going to be a problem, but
they could always move cars out in the event there was an event that was larger that may be a problem.
Right, but that was what we were originally going to ask for, was a plan. We could avoid that entire thing if we just confirm the parking is in excess of what we need. If they've got what they need, we don't have to care as much about what they're doing with the extra space. They've already exceeded it, and then according to the people running the place, they don't even need that to cover their events, which is fine, but we still have a requirement number. If they're already meeting it, or basically meeting it, if we're within a couple of spaces of it.
We don't need that now.
Who cares?
we do
Then
it
they can
this
park
way?
the cars, they're not hurting anything.
Right.
That's my
what if we
point.
do it this way? If you can bring us we can vote on this, that it's contingent that you have a plan that shows 88 or more available spaces.
No problem.
If not, our approval, if you get it, will be invalidated,
No problem.
and you'll have to come back with a real written
Yeah.
plan
No problem.
of either how you're going to do it, or where you have gone to because they were not able to make it work on this site.
Okay.
No problem, thank you. Like I said, I don't need to scale it down because it's already scaled down.
We just need something in writing that you acknowledge that you
Yep.
have less parking available than what you're
Right.
required
No
by the
problem.
town bylaws, and that you will downsize your functions to match the parking that's available for them.
Not a
That's
problem.
all. Again, it doesn't sound like it's a problem, but, we can't have you hosting,
I
the Pope's local. I mean, we can't have him showing up at the Knights of Columbus, and all of a sudden, you don't know where your parking is.
Totally understand.
I'm sorry, Mr. Duffy?
That's okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just going to say that, to build on that, to give you some parameter there, and this was after having a quick discussion with Ms. Lauder today, if you were willing to reduce the number of maximum occupancy, which would be, you'd be able to temporarily, for the duration of this lease, reduce the number of parking spaces. Because right now, you're at the red line. There's no room to bring in one more Hyundai there. So if you wanted to give yourself a little wiggle room there, and provide a narrative that states that you're going to have no function, say more than 180 people. And Ms. Lauder can help you. I know, kind of
She'll type it out?
put in some more work that she probably doesn't need, but, she may be willing to help you, kind of with the language and so forth on that.
Mr. Duffy, I talked to Mr. Sullivan, right? They don't even have 180 chairs in the building. You only have
We don't.
125 chairs.
170 chairs in the
It's on
building.
the permit. It's not what you have there.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like, our members room has a capacity of 70. I don't think I've seen more than 40 or 50, maybe Super Bowl Sunday, maybe 50. I've been a member for 50 years.
Yeah.
There's never that many people there.
Sure.
We're a small fraternal organization that builds itself on charity. That's what we do.
So I think we're offering a very simple solution here. You could probably even do a little of both if that was going to be,
Right.
if that was going to work for you. It gives you guys a little wiggle room. Let's say you had to put 10 more cars in there for some reason, then, but right now you can't do that. But if Mr. Sullivan is willing to, put down on paper that he's going to, temporarily reduce the maximum occupancy requirement of the building by therefore reducing some parking spaces, then that may, that might make everybody a little happy there, gives you guys a little wiggle room if you need to put a few more cars here, whatever, you know what I mean? Because I personally hate the idea of approving something that's exactly on the line, because, things can happen. What happens when the snow comes, and what happens when, whatever,
Yeah.
So there are things that can happen. Does that make sort of sense to you, Alex?
Yeah, so the only thing we have to base the parking calculation on is the maximum occupancy for the building. That's not based on seats because you folks were not permitted through a traditional permitting plan. The building's been there for, decades, and we don't have the record of how the parking was originally calculated. So all we have to rely on now is your C of I that says 270 max for the whole building. And like you mentioned, that's not seats, that's just fire safety maximum numbers divided by the traditional assembly number of people per parking space, which is 3, which gets us to the 90.
Right.
And again, that's just based on me counting on the aerial, because there were cars out there and I couldn't accurately
No, I'm
count
just,
at that point.
I'm just going by what the fire department gives us every year. I have the
Right.
permit, it's on the
Right.
wall.
No, I understand that. I'm
Deal
not-
with the
and-
chief,
right. I'm
deal with
talking
the-
about the parking spaces,
Right.
though. So that 270, that's where that came from, because we don't have it based on a seat
Right.
count. So I think what could be reasonable, and, let me know what your thoughts are, if you're willing to reduce your maximum occupancy from 270 to, say, 180, right? That gets you guys 60 dedicated parking spots, and they can get the rest. And if your events never even get to 180, then that shouldn't be a problem based on what we're hearing.
My events never get to that.
Right.
But part and parcel with the members' room, we could have 130 in the function hall
Mm-hmm.
and say 30 or 40 in the members' room. Now you're up close to the 180.
Right, so that's just the push and pull that I'm
I think I'd
suggesting
rather
here.
go around 210, and we still take care of it.
Then you need to make sure you have 70 parking spaces available to you guys at all
Yep,
times. Yeah.
absolutely. You'll have the plan.
And then at the end of the lease agreement, it would be,
Right.
it would be in the doc that, everything reverts back to your current status, And then-
So they're on a month-to-month basis anyway, Mr. Duffy.
No, I know,
So,
it's right, it could end today. It could
It could end tomorrow. Mavericks having an issue up there now, right? They're under agreement to be sold, I think, right?
They're under agreement to be sold, and I don't know where they're at it right there.
Yeah.
My agreement with both of them is I give them a 30-day notice to pull out.
Right.
That's the agreement. And I can reduce the cars at KFC. I'm just doing it to help up KFC. I have plenty of room at the other place, but I like helping them out. They need the money, and I'd rather give it to them to help them out.
100%. Yeah.
That's why I've taken a lot of the cars out of Maverick,
Yeah. So I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the special permit with the contingency of reducing some of the occupancy.
So
You're getting us a,
We're jumping the gun, though, because I got to go to
Okay.
the audience,
Right.
and we'll come back. Just give me a second. Anyone in the audience with any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, so do you...
make a motion to close the,
Do you want to discuss it at all before you close it? That's all I
no,
was asking.
I'm fine with
So
everything
go
that's
ahead.
said.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the special permit for satellite parking at 2070 Main Street with the contingency of them getting us a plot plan of the parking area, and we reduce the occupancy to 210? Is that the number?
Are we putting a number on it?
Oh,
Well, yes, to have a specific number of parking spaces.
210's good.
You tell me.
210.
You tell me the number you want.
yeah, let's go 225, how's that?
That's fine.
210, no, I mean,
That's fine, I don't have a
Prefer
problem with it.
divisible by 3, if that's possible.
220 would be a reduction of 50 spots,
yeah, so,
50 people.
Do I need, this is a question because I'm ignorant. Do I need to talk to
225
Chief
to
Kearns
75.
as far as the
No.
fire department?
No.
no.
Okay,
And it's only temporary because once,
okay.
they,
Just let it run the number, just real quick.
220.
Can we do 222, just so it's evenly divisible by 3?
Sure. 222? Total occupancy? Fine.
Fine.
You won't even get there, Ms. Sullivan, but that's,
No problem.
So that was fun, but we're going to go one step back, and we'll do this all over because we didn't close the hearing still. We have a motion to close the public hearing?
motion to close the public hearing.
All right, I have a motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. And then we have a motion that was just discussed. We'll now make that motion using the same language with the 222 as the occupancy. And then just as a designated area, would that be the northeast corner of the parking lot? Am I wrong?
Looking at the building, Steve, it's on the left.
Oh, yeah, on the right, like the back right corner is where they got the cars.
Yes, yeah.
So is that
So if you
northeast?
face south, it's on the right.
South? Southeast.
Yeah, going towards Wilmington.
Okay. So the southeast corner where the vehicles are currently parked, that were, as
Only on pavement.
only on pavement.
And we'll show you a plan showing a minimum of 74 spots.
What's that?
Do you legally have to put 2068, because that's our address? I don't know what the town clerk still has it.
Says here
Our
2070.
parcel reflects it as
Yours is?
2070, 2070.
Okay.
Yeah, the post office doesn't really talk to us when they assign addresses, so.
I worked for the post office for 30 years, and I used to work with Mrs. Carey to try to straighten out a lot of the stuff.
All right, so we have the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Good luck, gentlemen.
Good luck, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You have a good night.
So bring it in and give it to Alex.
Sorry?
Bring in the plan, just give it to Alex downstairs.
Okay, email, or no?
Yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah, in the lower level of the building.
Gentlemen.
That moves us on to correspondence.
I'll be there.
We didn't have any correspondence, so we're all set there. Any other business not known at the time of the posting of this agenda? Anyone?
Nothing here.
I just have one real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Lauder, did you have something?
Mr. Chairman, I think there may be somebody here for the fence for 2122 Main Street.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Sorry, 1 second. You can come and speak
Come on
right
up.
up here.
All right, so this is returning to agenda item B3. This is the request for the fence to exceed 7 feet. Could you just give your name for the record?
Mulligan.
What's that?
Kim Mulligan.
Yeah, you can sit down. All right, so floor is yours. What is it you're looking to do?
Oh, so, I'm sorry, I got the time wrong. I should have
That's
been here
okay.
at 7, but I believe the fence gentleman was here.
No, no one.
No, nobody was here.
Oh, really? Maybe he had the time wrong too. But Dawn has put in paperwork to get the permit, and I signed a form for, is it 2122 Main Street?
So the request here, as I'm getting it, is it's a 6-foot-high fence now. The request is to put in an 8-foot-high fence.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
And that was at the request of the neighbors because they wanted additional privacy?
So I'm the neighbor, oh, yes, for the 8-foot, yes, yeah.
So you're the neighbor and you want them to put in the 8-foot fence? You're okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the actual installation is being done by,
Mass Fence, Donna's Donuts has hired them to do that. And actually, that's the letter that you folks have in your
Right.
packet that
Okay.
came from them. He forwarded me the letter where you folks were agreeing to them installing the fence.
Yeah, thank you.
He actually wrote the meeting date and time right on the top, indicating that he knew, but I wasn't clear that he had to participate.
okay, but you're the neighbor who's okay with it.
Yes.
That's how we've got this, okay. All right, so,
Are we able to vote on this without an applicant?
well, I mean, we've done stuff like that before, the administrative actions.
And truly, it's not an application to the planning board. You folks are just allowing them to exceed the maximum height allowance of 7 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I have no problem with this, because it's also a weird, the back and the front in that area are not really equal anyways. So if nobody else has any issue, I would entertain a motion to allow an 8-foot fence
So moved.
in this area as requested.
Second.
All right, we have a motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All set. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, we were at other business not known at the time of the posting the agenda. My only real quick one was, I had asked about, because we were doing with Walmart, that other section. Did they respond?
Yes. So at the chairman's request, I reached out to the property management company for 345 Main Street, which is Walmasett Place, that plaza that is in the front left corner in front of Walmart, because they have some directional sign deficiencies. They have ordered replacement signs for the do not enter signs and stop signs, and they are planning to restripe it in the coming weeks.
Okay, that's all I wanted. I just happened to be driving through and I watched cars almost kill each other again, and since I was there that day, right then, I stopped and called Ms. Louder before I forgot again.
I was at Starbucks the other night. Some of their signs have gotten hit
Yeah.
and twisted in the wrong direction. So now the do not enter is actually in the direction people are supposed to enter and vice versa. So
I'll reach out to them.
they need a refresher. I'm not feeling that they need a hard deadline on it or anything, but I think that signage is kind of important because if somebody tries to get out on Main Street the wrong way,
Sure.
it could be a problem.
I just had one question, Alex, and that was, do we have some activity up at Preferred Distributors now? I see some fencing going up there or something.
There was some tree removal there, but that's not anything that required permitting. So, and I only noticed that because I was actually leaving Starbucks one morning, heading to the office, and I happened to see a tree removal company there, but there's no other activity that we're aware
I
of.
thought I'd seen some digging up there too, though, recently when I drove by, but, and there's some, what do you call it, fencing up there too as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they are supposed to maintain it, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah,
They were so far over, I thought it was actually the church that was doing it,
yeah.
Yeah.
so. All right, anything else?
It's nice to see some progress across the street on Pleasant Street there.
Yeah.
Also,
All right.
construction's underway there.
Yeah, not too much though, I've been watching
Yeah,
it.
but more than it has been for a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah, yeah.
All right, with
Make
that.
a motion to adjourn.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. We'll see you on the 8th.
Yeah.